Hey everyone, today is finally part 2 of my sister's birthday. We are doing the cake. So I used 2 boxes of Betty Cracker. These are the instructions. I followed them exactly as it was said on the box. I'm starting with buttering the pans. So I have 4 pans that are similar and a fifth one that is different, but you're gonna see it looks approximately like this just because I didn't have 5 of these. Next, after buttering, you put some flour inside and you drop them. So this is what it should look like. Don't forget to butter the sides. Next, I am opening the box of cakes. So since I am using 2 boxes, I will be needing 6 eggs. Next, I am adding the cooking oil and finally the water. So I left half a cup of water outside and added it while I was beating. Next, we beat for 2 minutes, and if you feel like it's too dry, you start adding water from the cup that you left. It's important to follow the instructions. Don't beat more than 2 to 3 minutes. Next, I am adding them inside the pans at a similar thickness. So this is the 5th pan I told you about. It has a different texture, but it's fine, we're gonna cut that. Next, we had to put them in the oven for 30 minutes, even though the box said 20 minutes, so it depends on your oven. We tried with a toothpick. Obviously, if it comes out wet, it means it's not cooked yet. So this is a black screen just to say that I lost a footage here, the footage where I removed them from the oven and put them into small plates. So now that everything is cooled down, the cakes have cooled down, I removed them from their pans, I'm starting to stick them here. So starting with the first layer, you always want to stick it upside down, so you want the bottom of the cake to be the part where you are putting buttercream, if that makes sense. So my cakes were the same size approximately, so I didn't need to remove anything and I didn't want to throw away cakes, so usually people just cut the caramelization, which means you cut them from the edges and you cut the top layer, but I didn't do that. So as you can see, I'm putting a very small layer of buttercream. Usually in professional places they put a thicker layer, but I didn't want that. Next, I cut a straw to the same height of the cake and I place it in the middle just to hold the cake in place. I cover the top with buttercream and I start crumb coating. Crumb coating is basically when you hold the crumbs in place, because you're gonna have a lot of crumbs, as you can see, on the side of the cake, and you want your cake to have straight edges, so basically you just fill everything with buttercream. Once you're done with crumb coating, obviously it doesn't have to be very smooth because this is not our final layer. You put it in the fridge for at least an hour and a half, just so that the buttercream sticks and dries. Next, I was just trying the color that I wanted to do on my final edge, so I was going for a purple, a very light purple. I mixed red coloring and blue coloring to get this color. Next, I'm getting 2 more boxes of buttercream. So next I use the color that I prepared to color the buttercream, which is going to be for the outer layer of the cake. I used the butterflies as reference because this is what I'm going to decorate it with, and I'm gonna show how I did them just in a second. So just like we crumb coated we start applying buttercream all over the cake. Then I used this because I'm not a professional cake maker, so this is actually my first attempt to making a cake, so bear with me. Anyway, I used this thing, I don't know what they call it, but people use it in math when they're kids, I think. So I used it to smooth the edges, just like you can see, and you get the hang of it once you do it once or twice. You really don't have to push too hard on the thing. I'm just gonna call it a thing. So I do the same thing for the top layer, then I used a different one because it was way smoother than the last one. And this is just an attempt I tried to do. If you see the inspiration picture, I tried it, I didn't like it, so I just smoothed it again. Finally, to decorate, I'm starting with those white pearls. Obviously, they are edible, don't put anything that is not edible like this on the cake. So I found that the best way to do it is to just throw them on the cake, just so that you don't mess with the layer of buttercream that you just put. Next, for the butterflies, I'm searching on Google purple butterflies, aesthetic, stuff like that. So I'm printing 2 of each size because we're going to stick 1 on each side. Next is the cutting part. This took like 5 hours. I'm kidding, not 5 hours, but around like an hour, just to get the edges really like detailed. I didn't want to keep any white. Next, I am sticking them together to create one big butterfly. So I still had some white because it's really hard to cut, so I decided to fill it in with a black or purple marker. And this is the final result, guys. I love them, honestly. Next, I am cleaning the silver plate because this is what we stuck the cake on, and obviously we're not gonna take it off of that. Next, I'm putting the butterflies on the buttercream, which is not dried yet because we didn't put it in the fridge. So I'm focusing the butterflies on one side of the cake because if I put it everywhere, it's gonna be way too much and I didn't want that. It's still a minimalist cake, I guess. Next, I am using the rest of my buttercream, adding some more coloring into it just to change it a bit in color. And then I'm using a pipe. So you can use a piping bag, but I just happen to have this one and it's easier to use, I find. So I felt that it was still empty, so I decided to pipe some small flowers all around the cake. So this was the perfect final touch, I feel, for the cake. It just gave it a different vibe and it also hides the mess that I made. So that's all, you guys. It was really easy to do and I loved the result. No one could believe that I did it. My sister was in love with it as well. It was a surprise. You're gonna see a few pictures in a few seconds. That was my makeup and my outfit for the birthday from Shein, if you're wondering. And here are the pictures. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!